I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz...
Hey! Eggs on the beat! Eggs on the beat! Eggs on the beat!
Oh, this is gonna be an amazing show.
This is gonna be great.
What's up, everybody? You know what it is. It's your boy Lim Gonsalves, and this is X on the Beach Peak of Love after show. You know where you're at. That's why you're tuning in. I'm your host, Lim Gonsalves, and next to me is the one and only, with her shades on, Sinse, and she never plays. What's up, Sinse?
Look, because a bitch was trying to get it together and I couldn't, so a bitch had to wear the shades today. And we have a boss bitch in the building, so I had to bring out these friends.
I'm going to move on over to our other host, Akillah Friend, in the building with two Fs.
Two Fs, but no fucks. Let's do it.
Hey, no fucks to give.
What? Oh, it's going to be one of those shows. Ladies and gentlemen, it's guest time. It's guest time. It's guest time. If you're watching the show, you know who she is. She's amazing. She does what she does, and she says what she says. LaDemi's in the building.
Hey!
Oh, yes.
Happy to have you here.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. I already had, one too many drinks, so let's get it going.
Oh,
let's
shoot.
talk about it.
Let's get it started. So this was an interesting episode. There was a lot that went down in this episode. But I want to, since you're here, I want to start off with you. And we see that, your love life on the show has been like this. And we saw that the last time we saw you were connecting, with Marlon and doing that whole thing. But this episode, there was a little different because you were kind of feeling some kind of way about Danny, a.k.a. Adore, with your ex, Tyler. So
Was I really?
Oh, well, tell us about it.
Was I really?
Yeah, tell us about it.
Where do I start?
Start with Marlon. I want to start with Marlon.
Okay, let's start with Marlon.
Yes.
Let's start with the main glaze to my cake.
Yes, the one that first caught your attention.
Yes.
The thing with Marlon, it was so much off and on, and then at the beginning of our relationship, it was, I like you, but I also have a crush on so-and-so and so-and-so, and I'm more of a person, it's me or nothing. I'm not the second bitch, I'm not the third bitch, I'm not the fourth bitch. I think I said that on the show, I want to be number one only, Which, I'm a little bit of a playgirl for myself, too,
Right.
I like to play the game. I wrote the game, so I'll play it. But it was just a lot of back and forth and miscommunication. I feel like with me and Marlon, I love the guy still to this day, and I think we had a great chemistry about us, and I think that really it came off on camera, obviously.
I mean, clearly.
It did.
The chemistry was there, and it never left because it came back.
Yeah.
But time after time, we had nonstop issues that would intervene between us, whether it was me with the guard up, or someone coming into the house, or him wanting to experience other things. It was just it was very messy.
Do you regret the comment that you made about the eggs in the basket?
Yeah.
Because it seemed like when that happened, that's when he kind of all right, well, cool, I'm gonna do this.
Took it at face value.
Right,
for sure.
exactly.
Yeah, he really played that part up. The whole egg in a basket. Well, first and foremost, all I had wanted him to do, honestly, was just fertilize my eggs.
Oh.
What? What?
Oh.
But
no, I don't regret making that comment because it was something that, it was so new into the chalet that I didn't know if Marlon was being sincere, and I have so many guards up from being hurt in my past that I was like, what if this is another fuckboy just trying to play me, And then what if I do have an ex coming in here that's going to sweep me off my feet, and you know what, we were meant to be together. So I was at the same time very skeptical and scared to want to let that guard down to pursue something with someone I absolutely don't even know, but at the same time might have my Prince Charming walk into the door and be like, I miss you.
Right.
You know?
And you said that too.
Yeah, I think I kind of told him too. I was telling him if someone does come through the door, then I might, pick right back up where I left off, girl. And he didn't like the way that said, but he kind of told me the same thing too. He said that if a guy was to come that was his ex, he was going to want to work things out and pick up where he left off. So there was some things that were not in the edit, but it was a lot of us telling each other kind of we were feeling each other, but at the same time we want to see what's on the table.
What's going on.
Interesting.
And that's what kind of happened when Todd came in the building a little bit. Because, I mean, I was wondering, I was like, what happened? Because, this next episode that we just watched, I mean, it wasn't really touching on it. So, But I mean, you know.
I mean, there's more to come.
There's more to come. Let's break down this episode. So we see, and I'm gonna divert to you in a second because we've been talking about Tyranny, and we feel like she's very parched. I've said that, and this is what again.
Sorry, you got me at the parch.
We see this on television, but we know that as you know, with reality TV, editing is a lot of times not your friend. So, but this particular episode, she seemed really parched.
At the same time, you give them the content for them to edit.
Boom.
See?
Okay.
And at the same time, though, I feel like, Sam has definitely been filling her cup of thirst. Okay, so let's just all keep it all the way real.
All the way real.
She's not completely crazy.
She's not completely crazy with the situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Homegirl's a little bit crazy. I love Tyranny. That's my girl, but homegirl. If a man told me he's gonna keep his motherfucking can I cuss?
Yeah, of course.
If a man told me he's gonna keep his motherfucking options open while I'm laying in bed with him,
the door is closed after that.
These legs
you are not gonna get none of these good.
Okay.
No, ma'am.
You know what? It's interesting you said that because when I saw that and I see him laying in the bed and they show the little subtitles and he's telling her, he's
With
like,
hand signals.
if somebody comes in, I'm probably going to pursue them.
Yeah.
Then you can't fault him.
But you also can't. Oh, you go.
Okay, but I was gonna say you can't fault him, but you can be mad.
Right.
Like you can be jealous. Like you can say what you want to say because at the end of the day, you were in the bed with him. You guys were doing what you guys were doing. I mean, we didn't see if they had sex or not. We don't know if it was that deep. I mean, I don't know if you can, spill some.
Did it pick that up?
Spill some tea. Okay, but all I'm saying is she has a full reason to act, how she wants to act, feel how she wants to feel. Now, if it goes past this episode, girl, we're going to just need you to move on and keep it pushing and move forward.
I will say Tyranny is a girl. Not a girl. She's a woman.
Mm-hmm.
She has emotions and feelings. And someone that has been on the other side where she has been, it's kind of hard when you feel something so strong with someone, you almost want to believe and create this fantasy.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially in a living situation like Ex on the Beach. You're secluded from everything. The last thing you want to do is be told no.
Yeah.
Fact.
I think with her, for me, and I've said this, throughout the season, it's just that it seems like she wants to be in love so bad, or she wants to be loved so bad
She's
that
trying
it's
to
like
really
exactly. And Sam, he was upfront with her, and again, I agree with you. It's not like you can't be mad or jealous or whatever, but when you sit up here and harp on when he told you what he was gonna do, and then you act surprised, it's kind of like that's the part I'm saying.
Yeah, no,
It's the timing of it all. It's like, yes, you told me, but can I get a minute? The moment somebody else comes into the house, you want to do a date for the day and the night. Like, I can't even.
Communication should have been there to at least tell Tyranny, I'm feeling you.
I'm going to do this. Right.
That
I see what you're saying.
That whoop-de-woo.
You just kind of.
So he didn't tell her that he was. He didn't tell her that he was feeling old girl, basically. Okay.
But
he should have.
did.
He definitely should have communicated.
Actually, I'm lying. He communicated with if someone new came into the chalet.
Right.
Yeah.
But she probably didn't think it was going to be right away,
then,
like you said.
right then and there.
Right away. And that was the part that stung.
I don't think he was thinking with the right head.
Oh. There it is.
That part. We see that.
Because them heads be thinking. Crazy shit. Okay.
We also see that Adore, aka Danny, is still hesitant about moving forward with Tyler because LaDemi is still kind of, in the picture, and basically, Danny says, I'm not perfect, but I feel like he's respecting the friendship that you all have. And you kind of alluded to, is like, well, is it really? And we saw a lot of that even at the end of the episode where they're having this you both are having this conversation. So can you shed light on that? Because it seems like I feel like he was really being respectful.
No. She was being I say she.
Okay.
To me, Adore is feminine energy, so
We'll go with that for sure.
It was okay. I'm gonna try keeping this short as quick as I can. With trying to get my point across, it was more so of I knew Adore has been through the ringer with men, boys, everything, And when I say girls like us, or when you hear us on the show say girls like us, obviously we're not two of the same paths. She's non-binary, and I am a transgender woman. So when we say girls like us, we basically are just talking about us being on the outside of the main circle of, you know, dating and just cisgender, male and female, all of that kind of stuff. So generally with her, it was me always wanting to have the best intentions for her. And with my ex, I think there is, as you can see on the show, me and my ex barely even talk to each other.
Barely.
Yeah.
There was still so much I needed to sort out with Tyler in general from just past experiences. And because I wasn't able to get that out with him or really have that conversation with him until way later when it was a little too late, I started to just build things up in my head as to, okay, well, this is behaviors from the past. Okay, well, he's acting the same. So it's the same shit, you know? So then I started to think to myself, wait, am I pushing my girlfriend into a healthy situation, or am I rooting for a relationship that could just be fucked up and under the wrong intentions? So that's where I started going a little loony, like, is something bad going to happen to reflect back on me because I pushed it and I was like, you had my blessings, and it's going to come back and be like, fuck, well, I fucked up my girlfriend's emotions, you know?
Right.
And then at the same time, on the other side of things, it was a lot of, Dora figuring out what she wanted at 1 second. And of course, she's my girl, like me and her, like this, like, so we would talk about everything. So for 1 second, maybe she was feeling Tyler. And then the next second she'd be like, hey, I feel like a little weird. He knows this and this and this, you know, like this and that. I'm iffy about it. And then I would see them doing their thing. So I was like, okay. And then it would come back to me and be like, wait, I don't know. I don't think I want to, Demi. And I literally sat in the restroom with her. I don't think this is on camera, but I remember the camera being in a little sliver of a crack. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, you have my blessings. Like, me and Tyler go from so far back. I'm a total different person. Different name, different everything. Like, that's not, you know, the energy I want. He will be in my life forever because he's like family, you know? Yeah. And it's a whole other path now. So I literally had to smack the bitch across the face.
Like, you're there.
You know, and tell her, go after it if that's what you want. Like, you're not going to lose me. And I'm going to be here to root for it. But at the same time, you can't keep coming back to me to ask me for advice because I'm digging 5 years ago from horrible experiences with him.
And that was going to be my question. Because I think, for instance, it's tough in general for any friend to say, okay, you have my ex, you can date my ex. I think that was very mature of you. I don't think I could ever do that, first of all. But then secondly, if that's what you're going to do, you can't keep coming to me and asking me for advice. Like, that puts me in the middle of a situation.
But at the same time, we're the only closest people.
Right. So it's tough.
It was getting to a point where I was starting to interfere with, like, me and my personal, like, well-being. Not well-being, but how do I say that? Just
energy?
Like I felt off because I was so focused and like, is she happy? Is she okay? Are things going on okay over here?
You're thinking more about them than you.
Have the wrong intentions with the door just to be an X on the beach or X on the peak? Like,
would you say that you and Adora were the closest in the house? I mean, as far as, no, I'm sorry, not in the house, but did you feel the closest to Adora as far as everyone else?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I questioned a lot of until the very, very end. I truly nonstop, and I do this with everyone, even my real life, out in life, question everyone's good intentions because I've been hurt so many times. But this show had allowed me to let those guards down and let people in.
That's great.
I mean, and that's what we really saw. I mean, throughout this whole show, and just like your vibe and like you just owning who you are and believing in love and like letting love in, like seeing your journey on this show really has just been so amazing
and refreshing too.
Yeah, so refreshing.
To get something a different.
Yeah, and just letting people like know your story because that is so hard to just embrace who you are and everything that you've been through, and like opening up to Georgia and opening up to Callum. I mean, when Callum came to you and sat you down.
Oh my God, I can't even.
Because I mean, let's get back to that moment.
No guy has ever, I don't want to say guy. Yeah. Callum's a man. No one has ever done that to me, has taken upon themselves to sit me aside. And also, behind the scenes, what was not aired is that night that Tyler had come into the chalet or whatever, I guess he might have exchanged words with Callum and told him, you know, that he was with me before my transition. And that's when Callum found out, and he was like, wait, what? So then he went to Georgia, and I had already told Georgia, and Georgia's such a woman. She told Callum, babe, honestly, if you want to know about that of Demi, you go ask her yourself. It's not my place to say
that
anything.
That is a real girl right there, a real woman.
And you don't find that in the real world either.
No.
Reality people.
No.
So sure enough, that's what he did, and that was him coming in to tell me that, you know, he knows, and that I have that safe zone with him.
Gotcha.
So I remember that moment several episodes ago, and it was really a special moment because you really got emotional, and it seemed like he really just let his guard down and was just being real. Like, it was not, cameras didn't need to be there. It
Right.
was just a real moment between you two, and I thought that was special.
It was.
That being said, how did it feel though, seeing this episode, him talking about you in this negative way with the relationship between Danny and your ex?
You know, okay.
How did that make you feel?
In the chalet,
Heavy breath.
Callum built a good friendship with my ex. And that's them two, you know. I'm sure they had bro time, chill time, a lot of downtime when I'm spending hours and hours and hours and hours and hours getting ready to hang out and get to know each other and grow fond of each other. So that's on them. But I think for me, it was really, really hard, and not losing Callum as a friend for that episode or whatever was to come. Callum is what really did my head in and really made me get really depressed, because here I was feeling like I had this brother behind me to root for me, and the second I kind of told him, you know, my ex is making me uncomfortable now because I'm too much involved with him and his relationship.
Right.
And I want him to leave, and then to just kind of flip the switch and be like, I'm about to, like, what? Like, smack me around when I've done nothing but continuously rooted for you in all your relationships and voting people out of your exes.
Because you had many opportunities to go ahead and flip the script on him if you wanted to.
Yeah, but I think when we started to get into that argument, it was doing more harm on myself in my head, because I was like, I was feeling betrayed, and like here I was opening up to so many people or Callum and someone I really invested like my trust in, and then it was like stripped away within 2 seconds of like, now he hates me and now he's gonna turn on me and choose my ex over me.
Right.
But no, it was just a hard time in general. I think we were all kind of just like overthinking and analyzing a lot of things.
I want to make sure we get to some questions in the chat.
Yeah, go
so
for it.
one thing that one of our people said, Zion Simmons, thanks for writing a question. He asked, how do you think you would feel if you were in Adore's position, if Tyler wasn't here and you were attracted to Jack? So pretty much if the role was reversed.
First and foremost, I don't think I would have had as much balls as Adore had to actually, you know, speak of it and say that, hey, I'm attracted to your ex. I wouldn't have the balls. She had the balls to say, like, hey, I'm actually attracted to your ex, and he's feeling me. Like, tell me to my fucking face,
Right.
which I respect a bitch so much for. You know what I mean? You don't find that, you know? And for me, because I already I'm on such a different chapter, I was like, that's fine, you know? Like, that's not someone I want to pick up with sexually or in a love interest. So, I give her credit because I wouldn't have been able to do it.
I get that.
Word. We'll
let you go.
We'll go back to that. Let's get deeper into the episode. We do see that is the fire situation. So we see that it's X time, of course, that happens every single episode. And Tyler, Nile, and Callum go out. And we see that it's Callum's ex, Paris, that shows up, and they were talking about being together when they were young and in college.
First
and
love.
you know, basically he had a wandering eye, which is why, you know, it didn't work, but she still has love for him. And Callum says he loves Georgia, but, you know, doesn't say her name, which she was feeling some kind of way. But Georgia, when she came into the house, Georgia was not happy. She was not having it. She felt all kinds of ways in that situation, and I wanted to kind of get from you all, like, how did you feel? Like, would you be in the same boat? Basically, because he says that he even said, I was being perfect.
Look,
He was.
at the end of the day, though, if you've been in damaging relationships, no matter what, you're still growing in new relationships. So regardless, if an ex is coming into the situation, you don't know her, you don't know their relationship. At the end of the day, up first, it's like, I can't talk, you guys, tonight. I'm sorry. I've been sick all week.
It's okay.
You're just so troubled by this situation.
It's going to be a threat, regardless. If an ex comes in the building and you dated the guy I'm seeing right now, it's a threat,
It's gonna be a
regardless.
threat.
No.
And yes, but that's like the new relationship. She's still trying to find herself. She's still trying to find the confidence within herself because of her past relationships. Now, do I think she had to act that way? Hell no, Georgia. You could have sat there 6 sipped your tea, girl, and just kept it real cute because there was no reason.
She
Paris had nothing on you, boo.
Yes, it's true. Paris is a cute girl, very cute girl. But Georgia has
Georgia. Honestly,
there's no reason.
Shirley, you are fucking gorgeous. She's a boss. I honestly don't even think Georgia was angry. I just think that she had already had it up to here with so many curveballs being thrown of just like
prior to
they've
this.
got
her exes, one of Callum's exes.
Gotcha.
Like it was already so much, and she had been to a point of building up so much like tension with Callum. They sleep together every fucking night. Like you know what I mean? So to have this come in and be like on it, like really, literally, and looking at Georgia's eyes, you could just see that she was like she got to a breaking point of like it's a lot of emotion of nonstop.
That's a good point.
You know.
But at the end of the day, never let a girl see you sweat. If you know what I mean?
Never.
And that's it. You could bring 10 of those women in there.
Bring all the bitches.
Bring Paris, bring Milan, bring Italy, bring Iceland, bring Australia. And I would still sit there and be like, there is no.
But low key to my friend, I'm gonna say.
I'll be like, exactly.
Which coincidentally,
never.
speaking of that, you did say like, "Yo, you look better than her." Like,
I know the girl's mind.
You know that's the first thing you're thinking.
Girl, did I press my wig?
You basically said that. But one thing that I got out of that whole situation is I felt like Callum really did love Georgia.
Yeah.
And granted, yes, she's a beautiful girl. They have history. First love situation. Obviously going to be a special person. But he literally was like, dude, I do not have any feelings for her. I love you. And that was what he was trying to convey to her. And after a while, she finally was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, I was tripping.
A girl's going to be a girl.
She had her moment, and then afterwards, 5 o'clock in the morning or whatever, she came in the bed and was like, all right, we cool.
We cool.
The fact that she owned up to it.
Exactly.
And
that's great. It's great.
Yes.
Exactly. What do you all think about Demi starting drama? Because her whole thing was, knowing that, obviously it was the fire ceremony, right?
Yes.
And so, whoever you vote gets to go on a date and pick someone. And she was politicking to basically put Sam in to pick Paris.
I mean, look, she was trying to find a way to get some airtime, girl. By stirring the pot. So I ain't mad at you, Jemmy. I ain't mad at you, girl.
I'm not mad at Jemmy at all because you know what? Jemmy and Sam behind the scenes are kind of like this. They were they were always huddled up, and Sam was always reinforcing to Jemmy, being like, I want to keep my options open. I want to explore.
Right.
So I feel like what y'all didn't get to see.
Spill it.
Was basically, Sam telling Jem right off the back, being like, I'm into Paris. Like, I'm into the new girl.
Immediately.
So then, immediately, Jem flipped the switch.
Just
Was like,
went-
well, I'm going to set the shit up.
Yes.
She's like, I got you. Because Jem and Sam were kind of like,
They're super
homies.
close.
They were homies behind
okay.
the scenes. They talked a lot.
Okay.
Well, there was a lot of drama actually on Twitter a while back. I know Jemmy, she does her after shows, which I give her kudos for. They're hilarious.
In her robe.
Yes.
Because Missy does not give a fuck.
With her wine. A lot of the fans were upset with her because she threw Tyranny under the bus. It was the whole thirsty situation. Because apparently her and Tyranny were supposed to be really good friends. And so the fans,
I would not have caught that.
and Tyranny,
Since when?
apparently.
Right.
These are what the fans are saying exactly.
Okay, I'm scared.
So they kind of came for Jemmy, basically being like, oh, I'm sure you didn't say this to her face, or when you were there, you weren't letting her know that she was being thirsty, yada, yada, yada. So it's interesting to see her. I mean, this is my first episode from seeing that, and then her just totally being like, you know what, Sam, go for Paris, F Tyranny.
Yeah.
I mean, did they interact at all in the house?
I mean, looking back now, I don't ever remember Jemmy and Tyranny being whoop-de-woos.
Okay.
It was more so everyone, me, Adore, to Tyranny's face, I even say, and I'm saying it to the camera, Tyranny, I know you're going to watch this. To Tyranny's face, I told you, Sam is not going to take you home to mama and the parents and the family.
You told her that.
Yes.
Come on.
Okay.
That's a friend.
Okay.
Tell her.
I told you, I said, girl, it's not going to happen.
Right.
Okay.
And he has told me multiple times that he's going to keep his options open. He's a fuckboy.
Yeah. He told her.
Time and time again, I sang, he's a fuckboy. I would go in and over and over. Adore said it.
What's
I
that?
said it.
We Smell. No, the smell.
I smell a fuck boy.
I don't know what's going on. What's going on?
I wish I could breathe
Seriously,
What's going
no.
on?
We're smelling fuckboys.
Demi and Tyranny, I don't ever remember them
They're
being
not
close.
here.
Demi was keeping it real. Tyranny was in her feelings a little too much, and everyone around Tyranny was telling you, no, but she was already
Yeah.
too much invested with the cuddling and the sleeping and the kissing and the...
All of it.
Oh.
All of that.
And I guess when you don't see anyone else, you're like, this is my option in this house right now. We're going to make this
Yeah.
work. I don't know. But
I would have been the same.
listen.
So you don't have, basically, when Jimmy says, I want to do this to stir up the pot, it wasn't like she had any allegiance to Tyranny.
No.
And that's okay. That's what I want to get.
It was
because-
basically Demi just holding it down as a best friend to Sam, being like,
Got it.
all right, got your back, homie. I'm going to
Got
root
it.
for you.
Okay.
Okay.
I wish
So-
we
So-
would have saw
perspective.
more of
Yeah,
their
they made it seem
friendship.
like
Yeah, that
right.
and then that makes sense because if she's closer to Sam,
Exactly.
Then why
that would
not?
make sense doing
Right.
that.
Yeah.
So her
There you go,
plan,
fans.
basically, her plan worked because Sam got the fire date and he picked Paris and did not pick Tyranny, which she was feeling some kind of way about that.
I have something to say.
Oh, go ahead.
Yes.
They didn't show it, but that episode when Sam and Jemmy were doing their whole petition of voting for him,
Yes.
I was going around the whole house being like, "You're not fucking voting for Sam. I've been here since fucking day one. You're voting for me for that fucking fireplace date because I'm gonna take some motherfucking someone out there on a date. I want to get out." I was like dying to get out of the house. I'm getting out of this
Right.
house.
Yeah.
I'm voting, and I knew what Sam was up to. I knew Sam was going to choose the new person.
You knew.
I knew.
Okay.
And I was telling everyone, I was like, I know what he's gonna do, and Tyranny's gonna have her little pobrecita,
Meltdown.
putting her heart back
Yeah.
together, you know. So I was trying to go against it, but obviously Jemmy won.
Yeah.
Jimmy won. So he takes Paris and they go bungee jumping. And so he, it wasn't like, they were obviously, she basically was like, let's, have a talk. We're chatting it up. It wasn't like a necessarily romantic connection at the point, but he did want to take her back to the fireplace.
Right.
And he mentioned that, like, I want to go back to the fireplace with you. And she even said, which was interesting, she's like, you don't want to take Tyranny? And he was like, no. I do not.
And wasn't that awful?
That's
Yes.
Sorry,
awful.
Tyranny
Yes.
in the restroom saying like, "You're not taking me to the fireplace."
Yeah, when she said that, she felt some because the whole thing of taking
I
to the
felt
date,
it.
it's like, okay,
All right,
took
you
her on
wanna
a
do the date.
You want to
Yeah.
have fun. But to not take her to the fireplace when you've been
She kept
cuddling
saying
with her
every night.
single night. So I did feel
felt the pain.
I did
I
feel
felt the pain.
I did feel for her in that moment because obviously if I was on this situation I'd be like I would have been like okay you can have fun with her but the fireplace is a whole
You come
different
home to me.
situation.
No.
Boom.
All right.
Right.
But he did not.
Tyranny was looking
But the
so
same thing
He
as
did
what
not.
Nicole said. Nicole always said, "Tyranny, you're an option."
Yeah. Yeah.
Nicole, she didn't
I knew
do
I was an
healthy.
option that second at that ice ceremony when it was like when Lil Romeo told him was like, "So you vibing with LaDemi and you're vibing with Tyranny,"
right.
and then Tyranny was Queen Bee
Right.
of the situation,
Right.
not of the chalet, but of the situation. You know what I mean? I took it like a song. I was like, whatever.
Right.
Word.
Well, it was actually quite interesting how Callum took it so well that Paris went on the date, but like when Sam came in the house and started talking to you, him and Georgia got so riled up. And I wanted to know because we had this theory going on over here that Georgia was getting upset because she just didn't want her homegirl who she was close to talk to her ex in general. Was it more or less that, or was she really like, no, he's manipulative, like coming at that type of angle? Or do
You
think
know
it was
what? I
more-
can't even put myself in Georgia's situation because for me, it was an awkward situation for me to be attracted to her ex, knowing that
Okay.
that's my homegirl.
Okay.
But I will say, I feel like they were coming from a genuine place,
genuine
honestly.
place.
And I mean, if let's say me and you had an awful relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and then he's my best friend, he wants to start dating you, like I'm immediately gonna attack that. Same thing with just like me, Adore, and Tyler. It's like
Yeah.
you can't shit where you eat.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
and
true.
it's really is hard trying to get that point across to help a friend out and say it's not
Right.
good for you.
It was
It's not
right.
a
we were
choice.
really sitting there just like, oh,
But it was
just
hard for me
so
too.
cute.
Because like you're vibing with the guy, and then
Right.
someone's in the comments just shit on it.
Right.
What?
That part.
Sorry, I had to
What?
side note that whole
I didn't even have a chance to get wet. I'm kidding.
You guys,
You're not.
you all had an interesting party that went down that Adore put on. which I thought was great. And we see that there's a few things that happen. There's a situation with Carlos and Allie and Nile, and he just is really still vying for Allie, but she thinks he's super immature. So that doesn't, and he has like a 1-2 punch. I'm like, stop it. When he's like punching, like I'm like, stop. But then at the very end of the episode, we see that Adore and you talk about the Tyler situation again, and and you basically and you basically say your whole thing is you don't like the back and forth. Can you explain what the back and forth is?
Between
Yes.
The back and forth that you were talking about. You're going back and forth.
Right.
Back and forth.
the Adore and Tyler.
Yes.
Okay. So basically, you know what, homegirl, I'm tired because MTV and the whole thing has not shown. Tyler and Adore started this little love virus a long time ago.
Love virus.
Like episodes ago. You know, they should have really been showing, Tyler and Adore, they've been cuddling. They started sitting on each other's laps. Like, actually, Adore was sitting on Tyler's lap when Callum punched the hole in the wall.
Stop.
You could kind of see the little implements of like them
really?
flirting, but they already had something going. And in the midst of that, it was like very back and forth with Adore coming to me, expressing her emotions and being iffy and like not knowing if the intentions were right. But then I'm the wrong person to come to because what I stem from back in my previous relationship with Tyler is not the best intentions, and we have a lot of unsettled business. So. It was back and forth as in like, should I do it? Should I pursue it? Or I really like him, I have a crush on him, and I was like, go for it. So it was like more so on my end, go for it. Wait, but no, like that brings back a memory and like maybe it's not a good idea.
Yeah.
So it was very wishy-washy. I think that night was the breaking night of just like, okay, why the fuck are you not downstairs? Why am I still here, with
Giving the
no
same
makeup,
advice.
looking like a stupid with a bonnet on, fucking bonnet and creams on my face, telling you to go downstairs. So I think for me, it was not it was not a point of jealousy at all. It was just a point of just being frustrated of just, you feel him one day, you don't feel it the next day.
Right.
But at the same time, I know maybe the next day you don't feel it because you're just looking out for my feelings and thinking that I'm going to hurt if I see you guys. And it's not that. So it's me having to reinforce that over and over and over and over and over to a point of me and her arguing before bed, being like, okay, well then why are you up here if that's what you want? Like, we're here to find love. Go downstairs.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's real.
Does that make sense or no?
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It does.
That makes
I mean,
sense.
that's the back and forth. It's like, do you want to be with him? Do you not want to be with him?
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
like, okay, yeah, be with him. But then I'm like, maybe not. And then it's been.
And then I would get in my own head being like, I'm not here to be a marriage counselor.
Right.
Either go with it.
I want to
your
have,
thing.
it's like someone needs to be in my bed too.
Right.
Talking about being in bed.
Oh, let's talk about it.
Well,
What were you gonna say?
Well, what do we...
hold on.
Unfinished business.
Wait, what are you talking
Yeah, exclusive.
Marlon's bed or...
So well, I mean, but that was okay. So I want to know, was Marlon the only person that you connected with? Because I heard something going on that there was someone else that you actually connected with before Marlon.
Can you tell me what you heard?
Well, there's been some unseen clips. Okay, we saw Georgia and Nile kiss. There was actually like a game going on. Was there any hookups that we didn't see that didn't air?
Specifically
Or
relating to
little
yourself.
moments.
Oh, to myself?
To yourself.
I don't want to say hookups because I don't want to put anyone in that category. But I will say I did not always sleep in my bed by myself, but it was not like on sexual chemistry type thing. It was more so just like cuddle, holding hands, and fall asleep.
Okay.
Sam had like slept in my bed like the first 2 or 3 nights.
Okay.
That wasn't aired. But I remember that's because everyone was ganging up on him, and I was like, well, hey, if, you're making a connection with us friends, like me, Adore, and it was actually just me, Adore, and Jack, and no one slept in the middle. I was like, come get into my bed, like, show you have friends to have a safe zone into the house so you could stay, because I felt like he was a really genuine person.
Right.
So we would just hold hands and, like, go to bed, you know? So that was, like, the first couple nights. And then one night we all got boozy macoozy in the jacuzzi, and I had a British sandwich, I guess. So it was like I went in downstairs when Allie and Nile were fighting that night when he was boxing into the sky.
Yeah.
I was like, I've had it. Where's Nile? Like whatever. And they're like, oh, he's downstairs in the fucking living room sleeping. And I was like, I'm gonna go sleep with Nile. I'm gonna go cuddle with Nile. And I sure did. I went down there, and Sam was down there talking to Nile, and I think they were eating, like, pepperonis or something. We were all boozy, and we all ended up just, like, having a full-on just cuddle session going to bed. So it was not necessarily hookups. It was just, like, you know, feeling it out.
Fun moment.
Sleeping, but I was not in that little cubicle by myself.
She said cubicle.
Let's just be real.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think it's special segment time.
Okay.
Yeah, so we do this segment called Minute with Uncle Lim.
The sad music.
Yes.
Who died?
Well, I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
So this is dedicated to Magdalena and Ryan.
Oh.
Yes. So Magdalena and Ryan, why did you come back? You said you left for a family emergency and came back like it was your honeymoon. The show is called X on the Beach, Not All American Comeback Tour. Y'all are the kind of exes that break up before the football game and are back together before halftime. And then you tried to throw shade with Sam by asking why he didn't take Tyranny. First of all, y'all just got back. Don't try to get camera time by asking questions you already know the answer to. Stay in your lane or go back to the Great Plains, and that's all I have to say.
Stay in your lane or go back to the Great Plains.
Booyah.
Bars.
Yes.
Can you write my bio?
Yeah, I know. I was like,
Anyway, I felt some kind of way about that. So I was just like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Why are you guys back? And you're so cheerful and like, oh, we're just going to have fun.
It's like, what happened with your family? And the fact is, everyone is kind of like fake happy that they're back. I felt it.
Actually, wait, I'll be here to say.
Yes.
Yes.
No. Everyone, Ryan was, we call it the bachelor of the house, you know, because he was for the most long of the season, just by himself, whatever, not really dabbling in anything, but like, he was really becoming like our go-to, someone that was like sane and not loony, like very down to earth, keep it real with everyone.
Definitely
I had
down to
the
earth.
biggest crush on Ryan, and that was like also a conflict between me and Marlon, because Marlon was like, I know that's who you always say you have the biggest crush on, so when you come to me, it was like the same thing. Anyways, Ryan was very down to earth. He had a very close friendship with Callum. Ryan on his end, really, I don't think it played out on camera, but he made close connections with all of us, you know, just like even investing time with me. Me and Ryan would sit there and talk for hours, you know, 24 hours in a house together feels like a week, honestly. One day in that house with no phone, no nothing, just staring all day, girl. We have a lot to talk about, you know what I mean? So we all connected with Ryan in such a emotional investment in friendship. So when he had a heartbreak of like all of a sudden the guy that was kind of like the screw of the house that held the last screw that kind of held everyone's sanity together. Whenever someone was going through it, they went to Ryan, you know?
Interesting.
So when he had to like leave, we were all kind of like, we were all shook because we were like, okay, well, we're left with a bunch of crazy bitches, you know? We were like, who the fuck is going to keep us like back down to earth, you know? We felt like he was the realest person in the house.
No, I definitely felt that way about Ryan. I mean, I've been said it from the beginning. I think Ryan deserves something more than Magdalena, but that's just my opinion, and I'm going to stick to my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna say that. You know, I just think Magdalena's taking all this like TV time for like what? So I think it's more ridiculous on her part. Ryan, I feel like, has totally been level-headed and like totally real, and he's just behind the camera and not really doing much, and that's okay. But like Magdalena, you need to take some chills. Okay, you need to
100%.
level down.
Booyah.
Level down with your boo. Okay, if you're really gonna be a boo, I need you to level down.
But as far as coming back, everyone was genuine.
Everyone was genuinely happy.
Okay.
I don't know about
because I was
genuinely
kind of
happy to see
like, I
her.
don't know.
Right.
I don't know
Not
about
about
genuinely
her,
happy
but-
to see Mag.
Not as a unit.
I
Ryan-
was happy to see Ryan,
Okay,
and everyone
okay.
else was happy to have Ryan back, and because we felt like an actual family.
Sure.
And that's where we fucked up in the first place. I'm sorry to keep going, but you know, the first couple of days, whatever, in the chalet, we really fucked up as like this. Is it single 10?
The first
five.
singles.
We're 5 or 10.
I don't know.
There was 10 singles.
I'm not sure.
Anyways, we made the mistake of all
think
bonding
11.
with each other because then we chose loyalty over so many other things.
Right. I mean,
That's okay. I'm about loyalty.
Word. Yeah, I feel
It'd
it.
be like that though.
I feel it. Well, it's about that time. We have to wrap it up real quick. 1 minute prediction. So we got 1 minute to do predictions.
Your AfterBuzz TV prediction.
You can't participate because you were there.
Well, I think you're good. I think you're literally going to be my prediction for next week. You're going to be, obviously we see Callum actually get upset with you at the the ceremony. So I'm kind of like, something's going to happen. Something's going to happen. A lot of tea. You're going to have to either snatch some wigs or take off your own to be like, I'm not the one to play with. And we're ready for it. We'll see.
Okay.
Me, I'm going to be messy tonight. I don't really know what I want. A messy Mel. She ain't here.
Right,
I love you,
right.
girl. I don't know what to expect next week. It's always going to give me something to talk about. So I'm just ready to watch next week, and I'm going to figure it out next week. And then y'all can tune in and see what the fuck I got to say. How about that?
And that's on period.
Okay.
I think it's going to be interesting with the whole Callum situation with his ex being there. So I think there's going to be, even though Georgia is like, all right, cool, I get it, but I still think there's going to be some friction there. It's not over. Like, I feel like she's still not over it. Something's going to happen that's going to make her, go back to what she was feeling. So that's how I feel.
We're going to see.
We're going to see. We're going to see. We're going to see.
My lips are sealed. I'm signing a contract. I'm not getting sued.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, on that note, that has been our show. We want to thank you so much for tuning in. Shout out to our guest, LaDemi.
Yes, amazing.
For being out here with us and breaking down the episode. You know me. I'm your host, Lim Gonsalves, and you can find me everywhere at Uncle Lim. Sinse, where you at?
You know where to follow me at Sinse Don't Play. LaDemi, where can they follow you, and what do you have coming up soon? I know you and Adora got some things stirring.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not going to ramble on again. He's looking at me like, here we go again. He's like rambling. You can follow me at It's LaDemi, and if you aren't already following, I'm offended. Yes, me and Adora do have a tour coming up in mid-March all the way into the end of April. And at the end of the tour, we are, actually, I don't even know if I could say, but I'm going to say it. We are going skydiving for transgender youth.
Wow.
All going to be
Okay.
a great cause.
Oh, wow.
I love it. I love it.
Kudos to you guys. I cannot even think about skydiving. I have
No.
no time.
Me neither, but listen, I'm doing it for the
Do
kids.
it for the kids.
Okay, yes.
There it is.
Akillah, where you at?
Yes, and you can find me everywhere at Akillah Friends, mainly on Instagram. Come on, let's be friends.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Until next week, we will see you. Make sure you stay tuned in and stay with it. All right, peace.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.